Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for the nice startup. It gives some momentum to talk about this topic. Access, equity, excellence in education. Opportunities for public-private partnership. So, simply speaking, I call this public-private partnership as a three-piece. Okay, that's usually what I call it. And I'm a senior lecturer in computer science at the University of Kolombo School of Computing, at the same time head of the e-learning center of the University of Kolombo. So we have been advised that's very important as an academic community. We should build in a very good partnership with the private sector, especially the industry, as well as the other people who are providing the similar services in the society. Because otherwise we may not be able to face the demand of the education, as well as we may not be able to provide a quality education to the society. Well, we start thinking about this one from some time ago. So one of the questions which came, these two parties, private and public, are they enemies or are they friends? So this question, if you looked at, I mean, sometimes they look like enemies. They try to blame each other, and sometimes they look like friends. So if when they are enemies, there is a destructive relationship, so partnership. When they are friends, what we can expect, a constructive partnership. But the reality is not those two extremes. The reality, if you look at carefully, that's the middle. What's the middle? Both suspect each other. Okay? The both parties wanted to overcome the other party. But, so that is the reality. So-called middle level. They are neither enemies nor the friends. So we are starting based on that. But important message is, if we can remove this so-called mutual misunderstanding among these two parties, if we can build a very good understanding about the public and private parties, probably that will definitely bring a valuable benefit to the society. So what is this society? What sort of a benefit can we get it? Well, that's, if we carefully analyze, that is the theme, one of the three critical things: access, equity, and excellence. These are some of the three main factors what we have seen in some of the factors affecting in education. Okay. So in the context of the access, equity, and excellence, how we can build the private-public partnership. This is the main theme, what we have it. And what I am going to talk about, how ICT education, ICT for education could make this reality. Okay? And my talk is based on some experience at my university. So what we did during the last 12 years, and how really it's happened. It's a small case study. I'll explain the whole story. Well, in Sri Lanka, when the IT education, as you know, in 90s, when it started because of the boom in the IT industry, there was not enough IT graduates in the software engineers and the IT graduates in the society. So universities was forced to increase the intake and produce more and more IT graduates. But that's not easy, as the government or the party says, because universities are not garment factories. We can't produce the things as sometimes the management requests. There are so many challenges, because as a teachers, the quality is something which could be considered as very important. So in that context, University of Kolombo School of Computing, we usually have somewhere around intake at that time 200 students. So that was not enough per year. 200 graduates going to the society was not enough for the industry. And we started an external degree program. I guess you understand what the external degree program, where we define the curriculum, we conduct the examination. We don't teach the people, and the student can register. And they have to learn themselves, self-study, or we invited the private sector to do the teaching part. And there was a huge demand. This was started in 1998. And many private institutes were very happy to start the teaching business. And there was, because of the demand, so it's a good business for those people. And we were able to started the very batch, I remember it was around 7,000 students registered. And island-wide, there are so many people started, including the Jaffna, the classes were started at that time, 1998. So the thing was started, and then there was a demand, and this is, I'm talking about 12 years ago, 1998, and there was very good relationship. We were not directly contacting the students. It was the private institute which were doing the teaching. There was no e-learning at that time or any other things. And the private sector is a kind of an intermediate facilitator between the students and the university. And they were teaching curriculum. They also participated. And it went 3-4 years very nicely. But the story was not very good after 2 or 3 years. What we observed, the failure rate started increasing. Students started complaining, and the teaching was going down. And some students were complaining the private institutes are only profit-making, they are not doing according to the syllabus, and they failed because of the institute have misguided, and so many complaints started coming on. So as a university, we started facing a problem because of this so-called partnership with the private sector. And then we looked at what are the new ways of addressing this problem. The solution was, well, technically we were computing faculty, we were playing with the IT, we were trying to do the education. So the simple thing is a ICT for education or e-learning framework. So in 2003, we started an e-learning center at the school, and where we try to look at how we can use the ICT to find a solution for this thing. And the thing is, we started with not in a large scale, in a smaller scale, the e-learning solution for this external degree program. So gradually after, it took a little bit within a foreign grant and a foreign assistance, we started the work. Well, Swedish International Development Agency was the party which actually helped us on that time, because we were also not expert on e-learning at that time. So in 2006, we started a kind of a so-called a fully-fledged e-learning program for this external degree program. And the students were very happy, and because we giving the content there, the free content. But the same situation created another problem with our partnership with this private sector, because they thought now e-learning is the biggest threat for them. They are losing the business opportunities. They are so-called teaching institutes. Students were trying to directly access the courses, and they don't have any role to play in them because of that. So then there was another debate. Okay, how now ICT we have introduced in order to solve this problem of providing access equity and to the educational content. Then we looked at, we didn't want to lose a part, because the constructive development is not destroying what we have. We also have to think about taking every people together and move forward. So that's the real development. So then, where we had several discussions, and some of the things we created. One of the things is we also wanted to let this private institute to play a role in this e-learning framework. So we invited them. They were given a free access to all the learning management system, e-learning content, and we appointed them as facilitators. And their identity was given on the virtual learning framework. And they can answer the question, they can play it, and informally they were started doing a kind of advertising about their institutes. And that helped for them to maintain, get some more students for the face-to-face. Because online learning, blended learning, face-to-face learning, I mean, this is a mode of learning. Some people like some mode, some people don't like some mode. Some people change the mode from time to time. So all the variations are there. And so, that helped their face-to-face classroom. So educational opportunities were expanded. And not only that, they were able to play a new role on there, the so-called online facilitation. Because it was not only the teaching the people, the students who was far away, because there was another problem. In the context, these private institutes, they were having only their institute only in the town areas, not in the rural areas, because they are on a profit-making objectives. If they put an institute in a very rural area, there are not enough students. Then it's a loss. It's natural. So they only have. So Then some students were complaining they don't have an access to the courses and there is no help in their community areas. But the online framework, to some extent, was able to remove this digital divide to some program, and at the same time, there was some unexpected things also happen. I mean, the third one, which we observed, some teaching institutes were able to build some value-added services on that. It was not something actually we also expected. Since we gave a free access to the content, both the private institute and the students, some private institute create their own content on top of our content. For example, assessment. So they charge for it separately. And students were able to use it. So we were not objecting. I mean, it's something. We have created the basic environment. If somebody wanted to build something on top of that, that can be charged. It's based on that. So it's something unexpected, but that's given another opportunities. But another thing, but one of their resistance is even some private public partnership we talk about. Some private parties don't like many private parties coming to the relationship, because then they lose their opportunities. But because of the e-learning framework, what we happened, we were able to get some new people coming into playing a role. For example, the community centers, which was not which was not teaching institute, they started getting into this business and facilitating. And the one thing is, these institutes, not only the teaching, they became an access point for the self-learning students who don't have an internet access. They got some sort of a membership at the teaching institute to go and access the content. So new business opportunities, and the telecenters, what we have, rural telecenters, they were able to provide the service. They were not doing the teaching, but they were able to. We also helped them to access the content and promoting, and the rural area that was able. So this is actually some of the case study what we observed during the last few years. And well, the happy story is not ending at that point. This is a story to be continued. But I am stopping. That's based on my experience. How we have used ICT for education to create this private-public partnership. And that's given real opportunity. And if we carefully build that framework, that definitely solve the three main issues what we address: this access, equity, and excellence. That's all what I would like to share, and we will continue. Thank you.